Here we go, sports fans. Again, we're back. Y'all know our name. What we're doing this week is NFC North Divisions. Josh, you got the Green Bay Packers.
That's right. That was my assignment this week. So basically, just like I did the last 2 weeks, we're going to cover the basics of the Green Bay Packers. Coaches, Matt LaFleur, been there. This will be his third year. Started in 2019. Also, Nathaniel Hackett, offensive coordinator. And then they do have a different defensive coordinator, though. Joe Barry. Basically, this will be his first year, and they come straight from the LA Rams. He was over at the LA Rams from 17 to since last year. Taking a look at their draft picks, they obviously addressed a few main components. They did go with the cornerback. I think that's a smart move because they're going to need some help on defense. I am surprised they didn't go for a offensive weapons, but they did in round 3 picked up a receiver out of Clemson. But that is about it until you get all the way down to round 7 where they picked up a running back. Last year they went 13-3. Division-wise, they went 5-1. Year before that, in 2019, LaFleur's first year, they went 13-3. That was the first year in a while that they've actually swept their own division, 6-0. If you take a look at those years, the opponents that they faced were, I would say, not as tough as they could have been. If you take a look, they're probably the toughest of their opponents are probably in their own division. In 2020, they had the NFC South and the AFC South. So AFC South, as we know, is a pretty weak division. I believe they swept that conference. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check my notes on that. And then the NFC South, outside of New Orleans and Green Bay, the other two opponents are pretty easy going. In 2019, with another 13-3, they had the NFC East, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the last year of Brady, was it not?
Yes,
19,
yes, sir.
And the AFC West, which outside of Kansas City, the rest of the division's pretty weak. So that's probably why they went 13-3. This year they have the NFC West. Tough division, Seattle Rams and San Francisco and Arizona. Arizona's up and coming. San Francisco won't be a slouch, and neither will Rams and Seattle. So this is going to be an interesting one. They're definitely not going 13-3. However, with the extra game, I would not put it past them to get 10 or 11 wins this year. Outside of that, and I could go over the lineup this year, but I don't think I'm going to. Because right now, with the question mark in play concerning Aaron Rodgers, there's been a lot of talk. I've read a couple of the articles. I've watched a couple of the sports centers, Colin Cowherd, The Undisputed, and stuff like from ESPN and Fox 1. Basically, the thing that I feel is accurate, and this was backed up by a statement from James Jones, who played with Aaron and is apparently a close friend of his. There are two main reasons that there's a rift between Aaron Rodgers and the organization. Basically, he won't talk about one because it was a private phone call, and I think it's smart for him not to divulge that information.
Yes.
But the other part that basically got Aaron Rodgers' attention and has him kind of at odds with them is the general manager said something to him like, "Don't be a problem." Well, he's taking that as, how am I the problem? Especially when you look at the last two seasons being 13-3. So it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with drafting Jordan Love. Matter of fact, apparently Aaron Rodgers has nothing but good things to say about the kid, and he enjoys the coaching staff. And so if that's the case, if it's not his players, not the coaching staff, that leaves the general manager and the front office. Obviously, there was a little disrespect there where they apparently did not consult him when they went to go get Matt LaFleur. But in my personal opinion, I don't think that they need to run things by quarterbacks. Would it be a good idea? Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, this is a business decision. And when it comes to business for like who's going to be the coach or front office staff, that's business.
Can I answer
not not really a quarterback's per se. Especially since you're a player, you can easily be traded or let go.
So Chuck had his hand up, Josh. He wanted to say something.
All right, so that's pretty much my wrap up of the Green Bay Packers. So I'll let Chuck throw in a little comment.
Just a quick interjection. So with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you have one of the greatest. Period.
I would say one of the elites. Yes,
one of the elites. Okay. My only thing, I'm agreeing with you with the team shouldn't have to go through him. But I think just like the Deshaun Watson situation, the team said, hey, we're going to consult with you with the future picking of the coach.
Well, actually, I would like to interject. Unlike Deshaun Watson, that was never stated.
Okay.
That was never stated with Aaron Rodgers. However, let's point out the fact that it was because of Aaron Rodgers that they got rid of McCarthy.
Yes, it did. Now that was true.
Okay.
So I would just feel like if you had that type of player at that important of a position. I'm not saying run it by him. I'm just saying run it by him.
I said I agree.
Although make your final decision.
I think it would be a good idea to consult.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't feel like they have a requirement to do so.
No, never a requirement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And you're right. I think that they should have.
Should have just we're thinking about leaning this way.
Well, especially since take a look at Aaron Rodgers. He just got back to the Super Bowl, not this year, the year before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was San Francisco. Well,
no, it wasn't.
They lost to San Francisco. Right?
Yeah, before they got San Francisco went.
They lost to San Francisco in the championship.
Hasn't been in the Super Bowl since 2000.
I'm saying it was 2 years ago. They lost to San Francisco in the championship round. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So it was 2 years ago. They almost made it.
Yeah. Right.
So with an aging QB like Rodgers, I think that they should have done a better job building a dynasty around him to get him that last championship. That's the way I feel. Now, it's up to the organization to determine, is that the best course of action, or do they go ahead and start looking toward the future? Because ultimately, the way these things work is that you get more money if you can actually sustain your wins over long periods of time.
Right, but the thing with the problem with the Packers is what's his name? The head coach Holmes or whatever. Holmes.
Well, it's Matt LaFleur is the head coach right now.
Right. I'm talking about when Brett Favre was there.
You're talking about Holmgren.
So from
Holmes. Yeah, Mike
Holmes.
Holmgren, right?
Well, yeah, Holmgren. I'm sorry. Yeah, Holmgren.
That was like a decade ago.
I know. But I'm trying to get to my point. My ultimate point is basically Favre didn't teach Rodgers. So Rodgers is naturally, that's why he has this persona he has right now. My predecessor didn't teach me. Well, I'm going to teach you. You're my replacement.
But he actually is teaching him. Because Josh said it. He has nothing but good things to say about Jordan.
No. Just having good things to say about him and actually coaching him up is two different things.
We don't really know if he is or not, though.
Right, but he's clearly not, because he's in where is he at? Hawaii right now.
No, I'm talking about before last year. Jordan Love was on the team.
Well, right now, right now, Aaron Rodgers is sitting out.
No, I'm saying last year
until there's a decision being made.
Coaching up Jordan Love last year? We don't know.
So there is a huge question mark. Now his friend James Jones, who was a receiver with him for 8 years, did say that he thinks that the rift between the organization and Rodgers can be fixed. And I hope so, because without Rodgers, they are not making the playoffs.
They become the Houston Texans again.
Actually, hey, that would work. If you want to trade him to Houston.
And get Deshaun Watson.
Get Deshaun Watson.
Both of them get a new fresh start. I think Green Bay becomes a better team.
But when you do that kind of trade, you also have to consider the fans, because the fans.
Oh, I know.
Are something else. That's
these fans in Houston, Aaron Rodgers come here to play for the Texans. They gonna be all over.
If Texas are not paying for Aaron Rodgers,
I'm just saying.
If Deshaun Watson goes to Green Bay, I'll buy the jersey.
There we go.
I think if Deshaun Watson goes to Miami, I might buy the jersey.
So on that note, they were the first in their division. This will be a tough year for them. But let's go on. Who's got the next one?
I still think they're going to win.
They're still the first in the division.
Let's go to the next one.
Who you going to call out, Kendall?
Let's do Minnesota. Who's got Minnesota?
I got Minnesota.
All right, Chuck.
All right, so we got the Minnesota Vikings. So with the Minnesota Vikings, we got First Cousins. He's always invited to the cookout. per our man Shannon Sharp. He's always invited to the cookout.
I know.
First Cousin. That's his name. First Cousin. All right. So the first round draft pick that they did this year, they beefed up the offensive line. So they got an offensive tackle. He's a stud. He can secure the blind side for Kirk Cousins, so Kirk Cousins doesn't have to worry about his blind side. In the second round, they got another quarterback, Mond. He is a developmental quarterback. He does need some time to develop, but after Kirk Cousins, he will be a good, solid replacement for Kirk Cousins.
Is that your real thought?
Okay. After the third round, they drafted another offensive tackle to shore up, to beef up that offensive line. Because the offensive line did have some kind of issues later towards the year when I think Devin Cook went down. So with him being healthy and Justin Jeffries doing what he did last year, even without the absence of Stephon Diggs in Buffalo, Stephon Jeffries was a good, solid replacement for Stephon Diggs. I believe they lost the tight end Kyle Rudolph, but they shored up the defense because they were ranked 11th last year in offense. So the offense wasn't bad. They were good. The defense was ranked 29th. So what they did was in free agency, they signed defensive tackle Tomlinson from the Giants, cornerback Patrick Peterson from the Cardinals, Alexander, I believe he was from San Francisco, and Xavier Howard from Dallas. They always had Harrison, so Harrison's a star stud. So that secondary is straight. With Tomlinson, he can stop the run because they were a poor run defense last year. Defensive end Daniel Hunter is coming back off of injury, so that defensive line is going to be shored up. I predict that they're going to be 8-8. I want to believe
8-8.
That's pretty close though. The last year,
It'd be 8-9 or 9-8.
I'm sorry, they're going to be either 8 or 9 or 9 or 8. That's what my head telling me. My heart's telling me that basically they're going to be like 9-8. I mean, not 9-8. I'm sorry, 10-7. What is it? 10-6.
10-7. 17 games.
Yeah. So it's going to be 10-7 because I honestly believe that Green Bay is not going to sweep them. The defense got shored up. I mean, you got Patrick Peterson now. You got Xavier Howard, who's not a slouch at the safety position, and they got Alexander. So and then with Tomlinson on the defensive front, one of the games they have is San Francisco and Green Bay, which makes them 10-7. If Green Bay can't get their run game together,
which they never do.
If they can't get the run game together, then it's all on Aaron Rodgers. It's San Francisco, which is the game I predict them losing.
Wow.
Which I predict San Francisco losing to Minnesota.
No.
Because the reason why I say that is because with Devin Cook in the backfield and Kirk Cousins and Justin Jeffries and it's a rookie wide receiver, I forgot his name. If they can get that going, that defense is not because the corners are not there. Sherman's not there. You're missing a lot of corners. So therefore, meaning you can throw on that team. If you do play action, boom, you caught Bosa and the front four, and you can do play action all day. So that's why I say for San Francisco is an extra game. I want them to lose, and Green Bay is an additional game, so that will make them 10-7. So that was based on my predictions.
Well, Kendall's gonna have a whole lot to say to you later. I'm gonna go with what Chuck's saying about Minnesota. The only problem with Minnesota is Kirk Cousins. As you say, first cousins. You don't know which one you're gonna get. That's the issue. Like, I'm not even talking about injury. I'm just talking about which Kirk Cousins you're gonna get.
That's his name.
Which one you're gonna get? Because you have Kirk Cousins come out there and throw 5 touchdowns. You also have Kirk Cousins go out there and throw 5 interceptions. Is which one you get at which game? In that San Francisco game.
Well, and let's not forget, it comes down to who what kind of secondary is he facing.
And
if he's facing a tough secondary, like back in the day where it was Seattle, where they always put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Even after Richard Sherman left, they had some good corners that they play man coverage well, and there's a chance for an interception.
And it's just did he get better this offseason? Did
the,
he learn anything from the last couple years?
The interceptions with Kirk Cousins to defend Kirk Cousins.
Oh shit!
They were always, let's say I throw it to the receiver, he threw it to the receiver, but the receiver didn't quite catch it. Interception because it either got bad, but
if you throw the ball behind him and it got tip drilled, that's on Kirk Cousins. If you throw the ball in front of him and it's got tip drill, it's on the wide receiver. And I saw a couple of the games last year. A lot of his throws are behind the wide receiver.
Not a lot. I would say somewhere. Not a lot. Not a lot. Because guess what? Outside of Adam Thielen and outside of Justin Jeffries last year, who is he throwing to?
So who is he throwing to this year?
He's throwing to Justin Jeffries this year and Adam Thielen.
Jeffries, Adam Thielen, and who else?
That's it.
So he only needs 2 wide receivers.
I didn't say he knew. I'm saying that's what the premier wide. Those are the premier wide
but
receivers.
But I'm saying so he's only
to.
throwing to 2 people. You say that's it. I mean tight end. I mean,
hey,
well, you have to think about
that's more than Deshaun had last year.
Yeah,
but look what Deshaun did. He had less. He had less than he did
4,000 or 5,000 yards.
Deshaun Watson did more.
No, he did more.
Yeah.
But guess what? 4-12. I'd rather be 7-9 what they were last year than 4-12.
And I will say this here: which Kirk Cousins are you gonna get?
It doesn't matter. He was 7-9 compared to 4-12.
All right, John.
7-10 this year.
Hey, John, you've got Chicago, right?
Yeah, I got Chicago.
Well, Chicago was number 2, so we think we went out of order here.
Yeah. But
8-8
Kim, you want to go now? Or you want me to go?
You go ahead and go.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Chicago. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole.
My questions about Chicago is I can go through their draft picks. With number 1 pick was Justin Fields. Their number 2 pick was Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma. They dropped to the 5th round because they didn't have a 3rd or 4th, and they picked another offensive tackle, Larry Boren out of Missouri. Number 6, 6, and 6. They had 3 6th-round picks. A running back, Khalil Herbert, a wide receiver, Daz Newsome, and a cornerback, Thomas Graham. Those are their 3 6th-round picks. And their 7th-round pick was a defensive tackle, Karius Tonga, out of BYU. All these draft picks had a grade of B+ or better, and only one of them had a B+, and that was the 7th-round pick.
Oh, wow.
Now, going off their draft grade, I have never heard of a 7th-round pick getting a B+.
That's true.
I have never heard of it. I've never heard of a 6th-round player getting an A. But that's what they got in their draft. So
well, I mean, obviously, you take a consideration of the talent that was left on the table.
There was a lot of talent left on the draft,
and a lot of people don't like to take their offensive tackles.
Yeah, they took them early. They took with the one with the 2nd and one with the 5th. That was their first 3 picks: a quarterback, tackle, which means you're trying to protect.
You're trying to protect your quarterback.
And then, so when you look at the grade they got was an A+.
Okay.
Then you jump down to who's the head coach, Matt Nagy. He used to coach arena football and American Football League football, and now he's a head coach for national football. Bill Lazur is the offensive coordinator. I don't know who he is. The defensive coordinator, Sean Desi, don't know who he is. I looked it up and I couldn't find anything that says you should be an NFL coordinator, but obviously, they know something I don't know, so I'm not even going to get into that part. The offensive line...
They didn't have a bio on them?
Yeah, they had a bio, but I didn't feel like reading all that.
Oh, okay.
The offensive line was ranked
It's on the NFL website.
Yeah, it's on the NFL website. The offensive line right now, the one they have the starting slated to start, is the worst in the NFL. And now here's your quarterbacks that they have to try to protect. Yeah. And I want every last one of y'all to say something. Nick Foles... Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and Mitch Trubisky. Yes, he's still on the team right now. Wow. Those are the 4 quarterbacks that could potentially start for this team. With an offensive line that's ranked worst.
I'm gonna go on record, and I'm gonna say
this for the record.
Yep, this is on the record. Andy Dalton's gonna be one of the ones that
that's
drop.
the one they predicted to start, and Justin Fields is second. Actually,
I think Foles will win at least the backup.
You think Foles can beat?
Justin
Fields?
Okay. I think Justin Fields is gonna be there because he's a high draft pick.
Yeah,
I think that Trubisky and Andy Dalton are going to basically find different homes.
Yeah, wow. I think Nick Foles might.
The reason I say that is because I expected more out of Andy Dalton behind a decent offensive line in Dallas.
Yeah.
And sorry, Andy,
that didn't happen.
If you can't do it in Dallas, You don't have a chance in Chicago.
And Mitchell
America's the
Trubisky,
number
you
one
had
team.
3 years. It's time for you to go find your new home.
Mitch Trubisky's been there too long.
So-
and I think he will bounce back. I think he'll find a home before Andy Dalton
So
does.
even if Andy Dalton's on the team and Nick Foles on the team, like Chuck would say, and I know he itching to say this, Justin Fields will probably wind up starting.
Oh yeah, taking a look at that
You're putting
lineup.
too much money in this kid not to start him.
Not to
Yeah.
start him.
All right. With that being said, then you look at where the defense was ranked. The highest they ranked last year was 11th. And that's pretty good for a defense in the NFL. I think they finished out. They're keeping most of their players. Most of their defensive players they're keeping there. The only problem I have with the defense now, you got a new defensive coordinator. You don't know what scheme he's bringing with these guys. It's already like Khalil Mack and them, and already there. They're already set there. So where you got to learn something new. And you got to come in the new season with a new quarterback. You're going to have a new quarterback. Your wide receivers are Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Marquise Goodson, Chris Lacey, and Riley Ridley. Those are your first 5. And then you drafted a wide receiver, Daz Newsome. So that's your 6 wide receivers right now. You probably got more on the roster, but who's going to make that team?
They've definitely got a practice squad at middle.
Yeah, who's going to make that team? Who is going to be throwing the who is my problem with this whole situation. You don't know
that may be the winning decision of
Yeah.
who's QB.
Who's QB and
who's
who's
the
he throwing
fastest?
to?
Yeah, who's the fastest rapport
Now,
with the receivers?
the running backs is the one that really gets me because I have no idea who any of these people are except for David Montgomery II because I did see him play. Ryan Nail, David Montgomery II, Tyreek Green, and then the draft running back they got was Khalil Herbert. These are virtually unknown running backs. All of them.
Where they come from?
David Montgomery, he's played before.
With the offensive lineman that they just picked up,
Yeah.
though, that might be a key to get that running game going.
Both of them are tackles. If you're running off tackle, and if they doing their job, fine. But up the center, they couldn't run through the middle with Forsett. I mean, what was the guy name?
Forsett.
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 They couldn't even get through the middle. He had to run outside.
But that was that. But the thing was,
that was 2 years ago.
Tyreek Cohen. He's injury prone now.
Yeah. So when I jumped to the wide receivers, now the tight ends are Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, and J.P. Holtz.
Well, that's
your
right.
first three.
They got Jimmy there.
Yeah, so that's some experience.
They
but
had to do Jimmy G because
Jimmy Graham,
Jimmy Graham because the person ahead of him is unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's a free for all because Jimmy Graham has not lived up to his
No,
expectations
he
at all. So you might as well say it's a free for all.
Take a look where Jimmy Graham has excelled, right? In the last few places, last one, well, actually, the last one was New
Seattle.
Orleans.
New
wasn't
Orleans.
it?
That was the first
Prior
one,
to that, it
actually.
was Seattle.
The second was Seattle.
And
So-
the Packers.
And then the Packers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Has he
but if you take a
excelled,
look, he excelled. Why? They are top-notch
Team.
QBs.
Well, they
QBs.
had QBs, yeah.
Right?
And this
Quarterbacks.
one is you
Yeah.
You
got
take a look. This is an unknown. He may not have a good year because once again, unless he's got a rapport with a good QB.
so who? But like I said, who are you working out with? Which
Well,
one's gonna be the
that would be so it would behoove him to get with whoever he thinks is going to make the roster.
Now I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end
Justin
my.
Fields.
I'm gonna end my.
Right?
Exactly.
You
I'm
know
gonna
he's
end
gonna
my.
be there for the next couple of years.
If I was Jimmy Graham and all these wide receivers, I'd be going to all of them. Hey, let's get out here and practice. Let's get out here and practice. Let's get out here and practice. Just in case.
Mandatory practice.
Except
Anyway.
for Trubisky, I would not practice with Trubisky because you know he's not
just-
going to be on the
The
team.
only
All
one
right.
you go to.
So
is
But
does
I'm gonna
that-
end this one with where I think they're gonna finish. And the only reason I'm saying this is just because there's so much uncertainty with Chicago other than the defense. The defense is gonna be there, but the offense is still up in the air. Only reason they're gonna finish third and fourth is because you don't know what you're gonna get out of any of these quarterbacks coming into this team. You know what you get from Trubisky, and you don't want that anymore. So right now, you got new running backs, you got new wide receivers, you got new quarterbacks coming in at skill positions, with the exception of some of the wide receivers. At the same token, they don't know what they're getting. They don't know what they got. You got head coaches and offensive coordinators who just now are coaching the first year. This is going to be a fourth or third. And the only reason I say third is if Detroit don't stay.
Well, and I think you nailed it on the head. The defense is there. The question marks are on the offense.
All
And
of
without
it on
scoring points, it doesn't matter how good your
Well,
defense is.
the defense is no longer there because remember they traded Fuller, the top corner on that team.
But
Last
like
year.
I said, the
So
draft.
it's just Khalil Mack at this point.
No,
well,
but
that's a
you
valid
still
point
have
then.
have
That's
other
it.
cornerbacks, and then you got the rookie cornerback that
Right.
they did draft. And remember how we said like Tom Brady? We talked about this. You find that diamond in the rough later on.
Yeah.
Well, they got an A+ on their cornerback draft pick.
Okay.
So and he was in the 6th round.
And to
But still, 6th. I mean, at that point, they're hoping that he makes the team. At
Yeah,
that
well,
point.
like I said, but even like I said, Tom Brady was 5th.
Does that wrap up
That
the?
wraps up me. Now it's Kendall's turn.
All right, Kendall, you got the Detroit Lions.
Talk about the
Detroit
San
Lions.
Francisco thing first, though.
No. I'm gonna leave that out of the bowl there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit Lions, definitely all hats off to them, gentlemen. Of course, y'all know me more, and ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for watching. I like to go ahead and say that I am more of a stats guy, which when I say that, I look at, who has more wins versus losses, vice versa, things of that nature. Now, what I did for my homework for the Detroit Lions this current week, I like to look at the last season's current stats that, of course, Detroit, we're in our division, NFC North, of course. 5-11 was where they sat last. Minnesota 7-9, Chicago 8-8, and Green Bay 13-3. So just between all the four of us here, they had a lot of really good points, and they were hitting a lot of things on the head. Biggest thing to me, looking at my stats of how I view things as far as going on the different teams in my division that I'm doing for my homework this week, of course. Looking at what Detroit has up against them just preseason. They play Buffalo. Now, everybody knows what Buffalo did last season. Of course, they should have been in the Super Bowl. Next, they got the Steelers, and then they have the Colts. Now, that's just roughing out the mat, seeing who's going to be hit where, who's who. Now, then we start in the regular season. My team, the Niners, Detroit has to play. Now, that's going to kind of be kind of a if and we'll see what happens. Steelers.
No, give it to your Niners.
Yeah, well, they
Just
didn't do
please,
too
come
well
on.
last season. So
Come on, be honest. Be honest about
I
what
love my team.
Okay, then say they gonna win. Damn it, shit.
Come on, be positive.
Now,
I'll be positive for you.
We're
Niners are
ahead-
gonna
We're
win.
still ahead of the game, gentlemen. So let me go ahead and move on. Regular
Oh,
season
now,
start.
we should make an honorable mention here that the new QB, right?
Yeah, well, hold on. Garoppolo's not going anywhere.
No, I'm
Trey
talking
Lance
about
is gonna do
on
it.
Detroit.
Trey Lance is
Trey
going
Lance,
the new-
Jared
The new
Goff.
QB. Remember they did the
Jared-
trade.
over
so
Jared
it's-
Goff?
It's Jared. Well, no, it's
You
Jared
forgot,
Goff.
Kendall.
Jared,
Trey
no,
Lance was Kyle Shanahan, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
So, yeah,
Jared
Jared
Goff
Goff
is starting
Yes, it's
for
starting.
He's
Detroit.
the starting quarterback
For Detroit.
Damn,
Yeah, that's what I have.
hard.
So who's the offensive coordinator for Detroit?
He don't know.
Detroit, no, I didn't look into
Josh,
much
can you
into
look
it
that
yet.
up for us, please?
Yes, I can look at it.
Y'all give us a second while Kendall get his thoughts together.
Dang it. I didn't get all my homework in. Had a
And
late
he
night
forgot-
the other
He
night.
forgot the most important questions. Who's the head coach?
Head
Who's
coach is
the starting quarterback?
Dan Campbell's the head coach of the Lions.
Okay, let's talk about Dan Campbell right now.
Now, I don't know much about the gentleman.
Okay.
But I believe from what they're saying in the headlines that I did on my last minute homework before we got on camera.
Last minute homework.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course. And I don't know where he came from.
Matter of fact, is this his first year? Dan Campbell?
This is his
This
first
is
year.
first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to this, he basically most recently served as the assistant head coach, tight ends coach for New Orleans Saints. So I like
He's
that.
worthy.
Anthony
He's
Lynn's
worthy.
the offensive coordinator.
Anthony who?
Lynn?
Anthony
That's my Chargers head coach.
Oh, wow.
But
Former
now,
Chargers head coach.
now that changes stuff.
That changes.
I
that.
Actually
like
changes
that.
stuff. The offense might be way better than what we thought.
especially with Jared
Yep,
Goff.
yep.
Yeah.
With Jared Goff over there.
I believe Anthony Lynn can get things turned around.
Kendall,
there.
did you get the running backs down?
I didn't get that yet.
Okay, what about wide receivers?
Working on it.
What's the wide receiver? Is it Galladay? I think
Now
it's
look,
Galladay.
look. Let me just get to the
Gallup.
point.
Okay, let him round up what he.
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
5-11.
5-11?
That's not too well.
That's
No.
not
So
bad.
now,
That's not good at all.
what
You-
I'm
you can only
predicting,
go up
what I
from
wanted
there.
to say at the end,
Okay, go ahead,
is
go
with
ahead.
them having a new head coach,
Yeah.
and then with the total quarterback change, Matthew Stafford going from there, going now to LA Rams, and now Jared Goff coming there. Now you got to look at the captain of the team. Now, what other ammunition does the Detroit Lions need for
They
this
need,
season?
they need wide receivers, running backs, and a defensive line and offensive line.
Okay, so a captain can't make this team go maybe.
I think with Jared
9-7.
Well, not just him being the captain. You still have somebody to throw the ball to. You still have to have somebody to run the ball. You still have to have people that can protect him, and you still have to have people to get after the other players, the other team, quarterback, running back. Make sure you got line stoppers. The defense of the Detroit Lions is, I'm gonna say 50-50. Would anybody disagree with that?
Okay.
I would say.
What day of the week?
Well, if you take a look at what they did, they had some. How should I put this?
I was gonna say it.
The number one,
with the hardest one.
I did, and I apologize. Maybe
it's
I should
fine, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying.
The defense has sparks of good plays.
Yeah,
the problem that I saw with them is consistency.
They have wins.
Consistency. Okay, so the defense needs consistency.
Well, I mean, I'm looking up the coaching because that was really the key here. So we got Dan Campbell, the offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn, former head coach of the Chargers. That's a good pickup.
Yes.
And then the defensive coordinator here is Aaron Glenn, who I'm not familiar with, but according to this, he is he was the last 5 seasons as a secondary coach for the New Orleans Saints. So another Saint coach.
And the Saints,
that's a good thing.
But I'll say this about the Saints secondary: they did improve.
Yep.
Nobody else did. The linebackers in the line didn't, but the Saints secondary did freaking improve.
I think that this is definitely a solid improvement. But with a new coaching staff, they're going to want to set the tempos quickly, and it will be who's more prepared in that first game.
I think with Detroit, they did try to shore up some stuff. So they drafted the number 1 tackle, Pennell Swill.
Yes. Okay, I forgot about that. Yes, they did.
They did draft him. So Jared Goff is going to have protection.
Yes, he will. But that's only one.
They got
player,
Jamal Williams from Green Bay. He's a decent running back. Michael Brockers from the Rams, they got him, so that's a good defensive end.
And he's familiar with him.
And that's a good defensive end. They got Quentin Dunbar, he's a decent cornerback. So they kind of did they addressed some needs that they need to have on the defensive side.
It seemed like the defense got better, but the offense is still the same.
No, the offense did get better because they got Fells from the tight end from Houston.
Houston, okay. Okay, remember we was talking about that, the tight ends in Houston?
They still have Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers from the Patriots. Those are Super Bowl winning. Those are Super Bowl winning defensive players. Yeah. So they know how to lead a defense. So they're trying. They're trying. So I'm not going to sit there and say they're going to be 5-11.
I did a quick look, and I agree with you. They went with offensive tackle, defensive tackle. Yeah. Off the first two, third one was another defensive tackle.
They got Goff some protection.
Then they went with a cornerback. Yeah, this is actually really good.
Fourth round, looks like they're going to be 2 or 3.
Fourth round, a receiver from USC.
No. This is they're probably a solid 3.
I see them going up, but coming from a 5-11. I don't.
They're probably 6-10.
Honestly, they're probably shooting. They're probably shooting for a 7-10.
I think 7-10, 7-10 or 8-9. I'm gonna put them same thing, 7-10, 8-9 with Minnesota. The Chicago is. I'm sorry with the things you guys got to fix over there. Y'all definitely
Chicago's falling.
Green Bay can go to sleep and win this division.
No, I disagree. Wow. Well, hey, John, let's not forget. I mean, it's going to come down to what happens with Rodgers.
Whatever happens with Rodgers.
If Rodgers is still on this team, Green Bay can go to sleep and win this division. If Rodgers is not on this team, then it's Minnesota's to lose.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you.
I agree. And then that opens the door for Detroit to vie for a.
And you look at these, like Jared Goff.
Either a spoiler. Detroit at that point would be either a spoiler.
That's when Detroit becomes a spoiler if Aaron Rodgers is not on the team.
Yep.
But now, Justin Fields, is it Justin? Yeah, Justin Fields coming in this, he takes the real Nick Foles show up, or Andy Dalton. I think that's probably the one that is beat them 3.
Look,
if one of them can resurge their career, or if Justin Fields is actually the Ohio State quarterback that comes out of Ohio State and actually becomes the Ohio State quarterback in the NFL, it's a whole.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different.
But
They
it
have
all
a
depends
lot
on, but
of
I'm
work
saying,
to do
but
in
it's still,
Chicago.
it all depends. It all depends on if Aaron Rodgers is no
And
longer.
even with Chicago, I mean, then they're facing some pretty tough competition here.
Yeah,
They have
their whole schedule is
NFC
jacked.
West, AFC North. I mean, look,
Right.
you got tough opponents in both. So I look at this and it's simple. Chicago is probably going to be taking a step back because they're going to be regrouping. Okay, Detroit has got a lot of elements that they've built, and I think they're going to take a step up. That's why with an 5-11 last year, I see them going 7-10.
I would say
maybe
8-9.
Maybe
I would
even
say
8-9.
I'm thinking 8-9.
So
I wouldn't say 8-9.
but that depends on how they play Minnesota and Green Bay.
But like we say it all the time in these conversations we have, you got injuries that come into play. You got suspensions and all this
with
stuff.
That extra week, we don't know what's going to happen.
And with the extra week now, it's up in the air for everybody.
Right.
But
right.
I think right now, if you look at from Green Bay all the way to Chicago in this division, on paper, Green Bay is number 1.
Oh yeah.
Minnesota's number 2.
Yeah.
With Detroit showing up that defense, and Chicago's defense is the same. It depends on which one of those quarterbacks are going to operate better in these systems.
Well,
so that's why I say 3 and 4.
Chicago's got the better defense, but with what they've done, I think
Detroit
Lions is going to have a better.
Any one of the other 3 quarterbacks I named other than Trubisky is a step up. From
Well, anyway, before we get too far off topic, is there anything else you want to round out with this, Kendall?
Just lastly, since I have a second, John.
Don't look down this way.
The only thing, my biggest ammunition, ladies and gentlemen, is I wanted to put for Detroit this coming season was with Jared Goff being, of course, previously Super Bowl twice and winning one of the 2.
He's only been once.
You know, him bringing that to the table.
He didn't win it.
He didn't win any Super Bowl. He only been one.
3. What was it?
Yeah, don't ever look down this way again.
being in the Super Bowl, he can bring a lot of things to the table for the team as a team captain, and looking for his weapons. But they need weapons, and I didn't do my extra homework on that to see where they need help at and what position. But I see them overall going probably 9. Okay, all right.
Ambitious.
That's going a little high. But I'm being generous. But when he was with LA, I was rooting for LA Rams during that time. We'll see what happens.
Thank you for joining us again for this segment. I'll try my best to get this uploaded tonight or tomorrow morning. And before we go ahead and sign off, Chuck, John, any last minute?
So we with Detroit, we're gonna look at the game in Week 7 when he faces the Los Angeles Rams.
I got Rams on that one because
I got Rams on that one too.
That's
I got Rams on that one too.
Yeah, revenge matchup.
Can we watch that game here, or do we need to go to a sports bar and do it live?
Let's do it live.
I say go to sports bar and do it
timeout.
live.
Yeah.
Timeout, halftime show.
There we go.
That game just for Kendall.
Golly.
And Liz, sorry Liz.
All right, and definitely stick with us. We are going to do a pick'em contest this year with a pretty decent final prize. Small money per week. It's going to be $2 a week. But at the end of the 18-week season winner is going to win a nice little prize. So if you guys are interested in that, put your emails below, and as soon as I get it set up, emails will go out. Any other things that you guys want to mention?
I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Houston Texans, so don't call me.
Nothing's been happening.
Comment below and let him know everything you want to know about.
No one cares about the Texans.
That's your team still, right? That's your team.
Hey, I got the cup.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
We're out. Who do you want? Kendall, you ready?
I'm waiting for him to put his phone down.
Yeah, we don't win. Yeah,
Wait, who has the Packers?
I do.
He got the Packers.
So you got the Packers?
I have the Packers. Okay, who wants to lead then? If you're going to do the intro, who's leading?
The Packers should lead.
Kendall lead.
Packers
Yeah, the Packers should lead.
No. I'll toss it to you if it's
Yeah, the Packers should lead.
You want to go this way?
Kendall, you want to do the Kendall?
I'll
Pull your tablet back. Pull your mic up.
I'll do the intro.
Pull your mic up to you. Pull your mic closer. Yeah, right there, right on. A little bit further back. Yeah, right
If
there.
you don't want it to slide, don't have it on the. Yeah.
I like it.
Josh, you want to do it, or you want me to?
No, dude, don't do that. Because it's putting it up. You need to have it directed at
You
you.
have to have it like this.
Yeah.
So don't do that. If you don't, why are you?
Why
doing
would you
that?
grabbing the cord, fool?
Like that.
No, that's
So
fine.
it
like
doesn't
that.
slide back.
Exactly like that.
All
You're
right,
fine.
All right.
Everybody else does it, right?
Josh, you go ahead and do this one. I get the next.
I'll toss it to you.
Josh, you
Do you want to do the intro then?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Kendall got it. 1, 2, go.
Hey, sports fans, we're back. We're doing it again. Y'all already know our name. Hey, we're going to do it. Josh, we're going to do this, what we got as far as going to our NFC North Division.
Cut.
Hey, you're so fast with it, man.
So cut.
You buzzing too?
No. He keeps doing
I
this.
was, bro.
He's doing this, and he's
Josh,
sitting over there.
I was like, no, we
You
cannot
remember that
start with that.
conversation we had about getting to the point?
Get to the point.
I literally looked at Josh. I was like, we cannot use this.
I was like, I'm buzzed, man. I'm like,
That's why it's
Three.
kind of half baked.
3, 2,
I'll do it.
1.
I'll do it.